This fall, 6 cities. Prepare for 2 rebels with a cause. Phoenix, Houston, Charleston, Nashville, New York, Baltimore. The Rebels with a Cause comedy tour. Tickets on sale now at louderwithcrowder.com/tour. It's June, which marks Louder with Crowder's 7th annual Cultural Appropriation Month, where we take you across the globe, learning about and appreciating all the diverse cultures this planet has to offer.
Hey, you hankering for a hunk of heavenly pizza? Well, get a load of my colossal combo.
This week, jump in our Maserati and take a ride to the pasta-loving culture that's given us centuries of dazzling art.
Better get up a getty.
From the birth of Venus to Michelangelo's David's penis, it's the land that puts the ma in mafia. It's Italy, hey! You guys see that? That's the profile. Welcome. Glad to be with you. I can't have my headphones on right now because I can't put it over the Mussolini hat. So people listening on audio, this is the, of course, it's Cultural Appropriation Month. You enter in the promo code CULTURE, you get $20 off, louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub, and you send in your costumes today for Italy. We are doing Italy using the hashtag on Twitter, Instagram, LWC Italy. Mussolini. Yeah, this won't be taken out of context.
No, I think you were basically looking up, I'm going to be hanged from there eventually.
Yes. You know. Although I was transgender breastfeeding Hitler, so really this is child's play at this point.
That works.
And if you've done any research, and you guys can comment below, how much do you know about Mussolini, the history of Mussolini? It's hysterical. Not the death, not the genocide, all the horrible, but the fact that they didn't respect him at all.
No.
Hitler was just like, yeah, put Mussolini on it.
Yeah.
Do we have an intern? Mussolini, my cough is tepid. So he was aspiring to be an evil dictator, but didn't quite make it. We have a lot to talk about today. Okay, Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson, who's been on the show, has been a good friend of the show, has been banned from Twitter.
What?
And he's been corresponding with me personally, and so I have some information on that. And look, he's been good to us. He's been an ally to the show. He's been good to you guys. This is why we fight like hell. This is why we fight like hell, is for people like him. This is not a man who should be removed from the public sphere. Yeah. So that's a big deal. We'll be talking about that. Finland, Sweden, they want to join NATO. The former Vice President Biden says that's a good idea. I say no.
Nope.
Why? Well, I have about 550 billion reasons. That's foreshadowing. And then the Big Hero 6 spinoff is now transgender, buying tampons, and Arizona just passed some major school choice legislation, which is a big win. So, look, I think it's going to be a good next couple of months. All right, Gerald A. is here, the best man. What are you?
It's me, Wario.
No, you're not. You're not.
I'm Wario.
No.
Waluigi. I went the wrong
Waluigi.
direction with. I don't even know. I didn't know it existed.
Why did we choose the lesser Wah costume?
We did, yeah.
The lesser man.
I'm gonna have to take the nose off soon.
And then you hear him. You know him, the fastest man on his larger, wider feet today. Because it's Italy, and I'll be on tour with him. louderwithcrowder.com/tour dates, because there are developers on the website who apparently don't want to remain gainfully employed. The tour site doesn't work, so you have to go to tour dates, and September 16th, the Federal Theater, September 17th in Houston, we are kicking off the big fall tour. You guys can go to louderwithcrowder.com/tour dates. I'm taking off my hat because I cannot hear anybody. Yeah. All right, Dave, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
The Ahoy Leone?
Ahoy Leone!
And who are you wearing?
Holy Walnuts.
Oh.
It's me from The Sopranos.
It could have just been any racist Italian stereotype.
No, it's not.
It's time for you folks love this, of course, Cultural Appropriation Month, and we've been doing this. This is our last week. Keep the nose, Gerald.
Dave put it in his crotch.
It's the price of doing business.
You I did
Which
that?
is surprising that he could fit this.
Do you want to work a desk job?
In that,
Do you want to work a desk job?
I'm at a desk right now.
Put on the nose. Do it.
It's a little on the nose.
I went to a hospital and collected baby foreskins and made that for you.
Yes.
I'm wondering why it was dripping. That's
Enjoy.
By the way, there
Bon
might be
appetit.
someone seeking a DNA scraping from the preemie ward. So.
Enjoy.
This is my nose now.
All right, so it's time to play Cultural Appropriation Month because to appropriate is to appreciate. We learn about these countries. Time to play Fact or Fiction, Italy edition.
There's a lot of good things at Pizza Hut. There's a lot of good things under our roof.
Oh, we just offended every Italian in the world by calling Pizza Hut Italian.
Well, they should be offended that Pizza Hut did it better
Oh, did
For a
they?
couple of years there.
for a couple years there.
Better than
Yeah.
Sbarro? Sbarro?
Well, Sbarro is. I mean,
An
Sbarro is the Amy
authentic
Klobuchar
New
of the food
York
court.
slice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take crappy pizza, please.
Yeah.
Well, look, I tell you what. When you guys can settle on who the original Ray is in New York, we'll allow you to have the better pizza. Until then, Americans did it better. All right, Tokunawan, you're going to read us some facts, and we have to determine if these are real facts about Italy or fiction, right?
That's right. Okay, so number 1 is Rome is the capital of Italy.
Gerald,
Oh, why you got to look at me, bro? I don't know, but I think
because I know you feel like that's a
yes.
trick question.
Right. I think,
Walnuts?
I think it's yes.
I don't know. It feels tricky.
Feels tricky.
I'm going to say yes, but I don't know.
Let's just all say yes so we're all in this
Just
together.
just in case.
All right.
I don't know.
Fact or fiction?
All right, that's correct. That's a fact.
All right. This seems so obvious.
God bless.
That's why he did it right out of the outset to
Yeah.
make us nervous because we're going to look like an idiot if we
Or-
assume what everybody else assumes.
Yeah. Or he was like, I'll throw a softball to him, and we're like, ooh.
No, it's not. It's Venice. You mean the city? Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, you're going. That boat's in sewage.
But at least I don't have to.
Did you know
row it.
that? Did you know that it's sewage?
Yeah.
They just dump their poop?
Yes.
Yeah, it's poo water, but
That's-
there's a guy who, he takes
Swirls
you
you
through,
through it,
rolls
yeah.
you through it.
Yeah.
Bada
You plug
bing.
your nose.
Scrubs the boats.
You have a picnic.
And if that guy so happens to be Amber Heard pooping aft deck, so much the better.
Take some
yes.
with you, throw it on the bed.
She left the grumpy. All right, give us the next fact here, Tokunawan.
Okay, number 2, the Flocia Capizzoli are considered the most beautiful mountains in Italy.
Well, that seems like a subjective fact.
Yeah.
Well, that is true, though. They are beautiful.
I don't know if they're
I
the
don't
most beautiful.
I don't think those are mountains. I'm going false.
I'm going to say false just because I prefer the, what do you have listed? You have the Flocia Capizzelli. See, I'm Flocia Capistrano guy. I think those are the prettier mountains.
I'm going to go true.
All right. Tokunawan.
All right, that is fiction.
Yeah.
Ah, fiction because they're not real mountains?
What does it mean?
Just Google it.
He doesn't. That means he doesn't know. That means these are half-assed fact or fiction.
No, I think you can't say.
Or
Is
maybe
that
this
is
is
that
Easter
why?
egg.
Yeah, you're
It's like-
I know what it means,
Fact
and
or-
I think that it's a fact.
Yeah. Like fact or fiction. Do you think Monica Bellucci is hot? Well, fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fact. Fact.
Who's that?
Monica Bellucci. You're gay. So,
I
There's a
really
lot
don't
of
know.
people at work right now very upset.
very upset. That means you're gay. Do you seriously not know who Monica Bellucci is?
No.
All right. We'll bring up a picture of her later. Beautiful woman.
Isabella Rossellini's a beautiful.
There are a
I've
lot
heard
of
that name. I
good-looking
haven't
Italian
heard
ladies.
Monica, what is it?
Well, the reason she's a marvel because she's a good-looking older Italian woman, whereas like Italian women reach their prime at like 19.
And then leave it at 22?
Yeah, they age like cottage
Yeah.
cheese. Now, the next fact.
All right, next up we got number 3. Over 400 Italians die each year in hand gesture-related accidents.
That is absolutely true.
What?
That is a
Gotta
fact.
be true.
Yeah, I mean, he took out one of the intern's eyes earlier. It's got to be true.
True.
Okay, and the answer is that is fiction.
Nope.
Your fiction.
Fact check.
Your fiction.
That ain't
Where the
right.
nose?
Your fiction.
Liar.
Yeah.
It's true.
Your fiction without the science.
You little whatever soldier. over
Elron
there.
Centurion. Go ahead to the next one.
Okay, number 4. Every October, Vatican City holds a kind of Sadie Hawkins dance where the altar boys ask out the priests.
That's true. I've been to it.
Yeah. Well, he was actually the chaperone.
Yes.
Oh, jeez. It's named after you. You didn't have to
I'm
sponsor
going
it.
to say, of course, that is fiction.
That's
Fiction.
True.
I mean, it's true.
What?
Yeah, kind of.
I'm sorry, what?
Look, it ain't so much a dance, but it is a dance of the body.
Okay, hold on. No. You got to tell
It's
us more than
nature's
this.
dance of seduction.
I was about to say the priests don't tend to ask the altar boys their opinion.
No, they don't.
Situation.
It's fiction.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Next,
one we got is the Pope Mobile is bulletproof and has a turret that shoots beanbag rounds.
100% true.
I hope that's true.
I guarantee
I know
you
it's
it is.
bulletproof. I don't know about the beanbag rounds.
I'd be willing to bet my desk that technically is your desk that it's true.
Yes.
Say false.
It's not technically my
false.
desk. It is my desk.
Well, technically.
All of these are my desks.
Yeah, technically speaking.
True and false, so false.
Okay, I'm going to say true.
Okay, that is fiction.
Oh, no, he went with the flamethrower? It's the flamethrower, isn't it?
There just isn't anything mounted. You're right, it is bulletproof, but there's no turret.
There has to be a turret.
Ugh.
That would be so much fun.
I'd have a turret.
Sooner or later,
Hey.
that pacifist will have to pay. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, you can have the desk. Sorry, a bet's a bet.
Yeah. Great. It's betting with the house's money.
Thank you, Waluigi.
Yeah. Thank you.
Waluigi.
That's how we do it, Steven. Come on.
It's like my brother when he would steal my pogs and then play for keeps. I'm like, wait, hold on a second. These gargoyle pogs?
mine.
I thought these were mine. All right. Last fact.
All right, final one for all the marbles. 53% of Tuscany residents work in the Parmesan mines.
I'm not going to lie. I don't even know that Parmesan mines are a thing.
They're not.
Oh, yeah, they're real.
It's not true at all.
Yeah, they're real. I go true.
There's the fat. And by the way, those canaries, they come out fat.
Yeah, they
really
do.
Yeah.
And canaries.
There's
No,
bears in there that love to eat the cheese.
You heard of the canary in the coal mine? You know, they send it in. They just come out with gout.
That's true. These are the
Yeah.
cannoli mines that
Right.
they work
The
in.
cannoli mines, that's a whole different thing.
That's
They're
a whole
big.
different thing.
Yeah.
That's really just a reverse sex change operation.
Big Wilfred Brimley bears. They're all ornery.
Yeah.
They're very short with their families.
Give us the truth or fiction.
All right, that is fiction.
Of course it is. You don't mine for
Nah, that's
Parmesan.
true.
All right, that's
There's
been
a lot
Italy
of
facts.
good things at Pizza Hut.
No,
There's
there are
lot
not
of
a lot of good things.
under our roof.
I feel like I learned nothing.
I used to call my girl the pizza slut.
Really?
Yeah,
From you meet her at Pizza Hut?
that's right.
Oh,
That's a
hey.
good thing.
My pockets are just not, they're not. You ever have one of your pockets aren't tucked in right?
Yeah.
It bothers me.
It does?
It was an inverted pocket, which, by the way, we're going to get to why Jordan Peterson was banned regarding sex change operations later. Let's first do this. I was instructed not to watch this. Not to watch this.
Okay.
This is a commercial in Europe, and all I know is, have you guys seen this?
No.
No.
Now, first off, let me be really clear. This is where I part ways with the identitarian right, because they go, we need a Western European nation. Well, the problem is that Western European nations suck, right? They're terrible. They're godless, devoid of morals, just crap holes at this point. If you were talking about something, basically what you're talking about is what the United States originally was. Fine, I get that. I don't want to be like Italy. I don't want to be like France.
No.
I don't want to be like England. I don't want to be like any of the Norwegian countries. Which,
wanna
by
be
the way, they're having a competition to see with Finland, Sweden, and Norway who is the most irrelevant country. They're all winners.
It is such a close race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
It's a photo finish. But this is a commercial in Europe, and all I've been told is that it's full of surprises. Dear God.
Normal so far.
A jak ty w ogóle masz na imię?
Oh,
Nie chciałbyś zostać na śniadanie?
So it's a one-night stand.
ow. Stand was
Well.
the wrong choice of words.
it's a one-night roll.
You can't beat up a crippled man.
Sure you can. What are you talking about? It's very easy.
How did they do anything?
All right,
What?
What the?
we're pausing it.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Well, that's the end of the clip because you have to guess
What happens next?
what
yeah.
what is it advertising?
Oh, what is it advertising?
Yes, it's an
so let's
ad.
see. It was a one-night stand. It's obviously some kind of Norwegic. I don't know if it's Swedish. I have
Nordic?
no idea. Nordic.
Yeah.
No, did I say Norwegic?
Norwegian.
One of those. I don't care.
Weird language.
No one
There's-
cares about these
It's
countries.
Thursday.
You guys have contributed nothing. And by the way, you're not welcome to be protected by NATO, i.e. the United States.
Pay your tab.
Is it guns?
She's doing it with a crippled guy, and then it looks like her husband comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it? Is it like for ball bearing grease for his wheelchair?
I think he's late because his flight was delayed or something, and it's a travel.
Well, I hope she's not late from a crippled guy.
Well, she could.
No, maybe it's for Viagra because he can't feel nothing.
Right. Oh, it could be for colostomy bags.
Yeah.
That's unlikely.
True.
You know what?
That's a
All good
niche
ideas.
market.
I'm going to go with ring doorbell. Show me what it is.
All right, here it is.
A gdybym to ja zajął twoje miejsce? Nie parkuj na miejscach.
It's a PSA for not parking in a disabled spot.
Wow.
If you park in my spot, it's like banging my wife.
No, banging your wife.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what it's. What? That's the comparison.
But you physically can on account of your,
That would just be that'd be like
releases.
That'd be like tuning in today. You just tune into Nickelodeon, and it's just images of Auschwitz and Warsaw and genocide. And I was like, pick up after your dog.
What if I?
Now you know what it feels like. What?
Is it such a problem there that they had to make this commercial?
Well, maybe,
I'm amazed at that. Well, okay, great. Is there an outrage from the disabled community over that?
I don't know.
I wouldn't think that they all want to be labeled men who sleep with other men's wives.
Well, it's theoretical.
Yeah.
Hypothetical.
I mean,
maybe.
You eliminate from the pool. There are many of them. The bottom half doesn't work.
That's true. It was a mercy lay.
Yeah.
Your husband parked in my spot. Why do you know where I live?
Yeah, this is weird.
I watch you a lot.
I cross-referenced your license plate in my spot.
Yes, I've been watching you from the rear window.
Yes. Also, go check on the children. I've poisoned them.
Yes.
Oh.
That'll remind you to use your turn signal. This has just gone way too far for a PSA.
Yeah, this is over the top.
That is too much. And don't do drugs.
It's not a handicap spot. It's a next to one.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
It's an expectant mother spot. I'm one of those too.
Yes.
How is that possible?
You're not a veteran. You know what country this is?
Yeah. Your main claim to fame is that you've remained neutral until you now want to be in NATO.
You're protected.
And the answer is no. All right, let's go to this. This is something that is really important. I don't know how many people have discussed it, but I have some exclusive information here, some inside baseball. Please just comment below to show Jordan Peterson your support. If you're watching this on YouTube, and also hit the like button because we want to get this message out to as many people as possible. Dr. Jordan Peterson suspended last night on Twitter. Now, just to be clear, the story you're going to hear is, well, he's only temporarily suspended if he takes down the tweet.
Yeah, with conditions.
Right? So that's what they say. Well, you could get your account back, just like the New York Post could get their account back if they remove the Hunter Biden story.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what they'll try and claim and say, oh, free speech doesn't mean you can say whatever you want. Plus, his account wasn't banned. It's effectively banned if you express an opinion that they don't like. And by the way, in this instance, it's an opinion that is completely in line with the scientific community and biological literature that we have had since the beginning of ever, or between mostly ever, take your pick.
Yeah, it was a benign tweet. We'll get to it in a minute, but geez.
Fluid.
His daughter, Michaela, announced that, Jordan B. Peterson got a Twitter strike. No more Twitter until he deletes the tweet. Definitely not. So, okay. She mentioned that. But, we can amplify this a little bit more. Here's the tweet that got him removed. You won't be able to see it now. I don't believe that you can because of the way his account is disabled. But we do have a screen grab from the tweet that got him removed. It was a tweet regarding Ellen Page. Remember when Pride was a sin and Ellen Page just had her breasts removed by a criminal physician?
That seems pretty benign.
He said a criminal physician. Now, let me be clear. Let me give you some context here. I don't know if you know Ellen Page, who's now Elliot Page. Here are some pictures of Elliot Page today. On the cover of Esquire. Hey, and they wonder why men aren't buying their subscriptions anymore. Wait a second. I used to read Gentleman's Quarterly. Is the picture behind that not a man?
I enjoy the bulge in Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
I love it.
Well, that's just because they're Italian women. They haven't been familiarized with Venus.
Yeah.
No, it's
so that's Elliot Page. Ellen Page, for those who are the uninitiated, because they've retroactively gone back and applied Elliot Page to the IMDb credits. So, again, it's never a consistent standard. Did Caitlyn Jenner win a medal? Then why does Elliot Page get acting credits?
Is that his boyfriend in that photo?
I believe that is his boyfriend.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah, his boyfriend and I okay. We're going to get some statistics here as to why it's actual medical malpractice, and this is a criminal physician. Look, I'll say it. What's the Hippocratic Oath? At first, do no harm.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dr. Jordan Peterson is pointing out something that would be harmful. That's why he's using the term criminal physician, because there's a level of criminality you used to be charged if you were a doctor who did something, who performed a procedure that knowingly caused harm. And this was important because long after science was established, whether it would be things like mercury fillings or lobotomies, right, they found out that doctors were performing them after they were no longer legally allowed to perform them. And so these people had to be brought up on charges so that there were consequences. Why? Because you are putting some of your trust into the medical institution when you go and see a doctor. It's like going to a mechanic. You don't really know what he's saying. You just kind of take his word for it. He says, it looks like the transistor flam is gone. All right, here's $3,000. I hope you're not screwing me. Usually he is.
Yeah. But look at what the tweet says. It didn't call for any action against the physician, right? Obviously, Twitter has their standards that they say they operate by. We know that they don't. It didn't call for violence on anybody, didn't make fun of anybody, didn't say anything about the doctor's name, didn't dox anybody. I don't understand where they're coming from legally with giving him any kind of punishment at all.
And by the way, just to be clear, he's also not saying, remember when pride was a sin, meaning homosexual Pride Month? What he's saying is showing pictures off of your naked torso and telling everybody else, demanding that they declare you beautiful. That was something that people said was, look, come on, look, if a guy were to, if a non-trans guy were to do that, you'd be like, douche. You don't want to talk to Elliot. He's a douche. Why? Every single pictures of his abs are grabbing his balls. Like that's a guy who's that's a douche.
Bieber. Oh, sorry.
Chaz Bono, douche. Why? A guy with a chin strap beard just wants to take his shirt off every time, wear a tank top. It's just a douche. It's the same thing with many men who act like women, who are trans women. All of a sudden, we're okay with a man fulfilling the negative Barbie stereotype of womanhood that we've been trying to break down with feminism for it. But when it's a transgender individual, it's, brave and beautiful. Because you can't define woman. What's a trans man? Going to be a masculine woman? No, they have to put on, I'm a woman. Why? Because I put on makeup and I use tampons. And look, I like to look pretty and I like to wear dresses. Hold on a second. We were told those were negative stereotypes. Just look at the lesbians in jeans and tank tops.
Yeah.
So, it's first do no harm are these criminal physicians. Well, let me give you a little bit of info here. All references are available at louderwithcrowder.com. Okay. Particularly with women becoming men or wanting to become men. What do they have to do? They have to go through hormone replacement therapy. We've talked before about estradiol, estrogen, when you give it to men. We know that it increases risks of cancer. We know that even with women it increases risks of cancer. But testosterone specifically, in women, increased testosterone replacement therapy, it's linked to increase of all kinds of metabolic disorders, cancer. And this is something really interesting. Testosterone increases metabolic diseases like type 2 diabetes in women, but increased testosterone in men reduces it. It's almost like we're different.
No.
Hey.
And now we're off YouTube. Make sure you're watching on Rumble.
Yeah. Exactly. By the way, we're on Rumble Monday through Thursday,
segment.
10 a.m. Eastern, and of course on Mug Club. We are going to be on break. There will be some super videos uploaded, but we are back the very first Monday of August with a new space here, new studio.
Maroon.
So think about this for a second. Think of that. If you don't believe there's a design, well, you have a very limited window of where hormones are appropriate, and they are allotted in certain amounts in the male body and the female body. If you increase testosterone, you have a higher natural end of testosterone in men. That decreases your likelihood of type 2 diabetes, metabolic disorders. Also, you might say, well, that's because higher testosterone is linked to fat loss. But the same would apply to women, right, if it's just a fat loss mechanism. Mm-hmm. But they're still at higher risk of diabetes, which just tells you there is something that we don't fully understand, right? The science is out, but the science that we have that is in is pretty bad. That the female body says, I'm not supposed to have that much. Of what? Of the man stuff. We have to get rid of it somehow. I don't know. Spike insulin, cause acne, infertility. Let's just it's like they're on fire, doing damage to the body because you're putting it in an unnatural state. Where are all the homeopathic doctors who don't believe in the big pharmaceutical company, who want to chew Kushtanga root? This is, by the way, let me be clear about this. I'm going to get to the cancer stats in a second. This is from the largest study to date. Okay? Mm-hmm. So you're going to see an overlay. Reference at louderwithcrowder.com. From the largest study to date on sex hormone levels, gene regulation. This is from the University of Cambridge. And is it pronounced Exeter?
Exeter, yeah.
Exeter. Yeah. They also found that higher testosterone levels increase the risks of breast and endometriosal cancers in women. Okay, that's not enough to say, well, you know what, a criminal physician? Well, here's the thing. We have some more receipts. There are other health risks and complications that would be associated with other things like Elliot Page. So Elliot Page just doing the testosterone, just doing the hormones.
Yeah.
Those are those risks. But then Elliot Page, formerly Ellen Page, also got a double mastectomy. Some risks with that include blood clots, bleeding, infection, nerve pain, heart attack, stroke, kidney failure, pneumonia. Now, if we go down to so we have the cancer risk, we have the metabolic risk from the hormones, and now we have the risk just from the procedure of a double mastectomy, which, by the way, it's not as high as the hormones and not as high as the fake penis surgery, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
But it's an entirely elective procedure, just to be clear. There's no reason for a doctor to provide that if there is no immediate health requirement. And there isn't beyond, I really don't like my tits.
Yeah, and they want us to be able to have to pay for that as taxpaying citizens.
Yes.
Not only for our military, because we've had people get that before. Chelsea Manning, I believe, was one of those. But everybody else. They want us to be a part of the program.
And to remove your children from you if you don't allow them to go through it.
Exactly.
So we've got the risks with the hormones. We've got the risks with the double mastectomy. Again, does it hold water? Jordan Peterson, the reason he was banned, saying criminal physician. First, do no harm. Here are the health risks, the complications that are associated with phalloplasty. And yes, it's exactly what you think for trans patients. So let's go through the percentages of these risks happening, okay? Getting a big old fake penis. Big old fake penis. What we used to refer to as medically necessary.
I'd like the jumbo, please.
So here.
Yes, sure. Yeah, can you imagine that on his frame?
Yeah. Would leave trails in the snow like a basset hound.
He's had a lot of dongs.
Why is that dragging on the ground? Because it's 4 inches.
Yes. Oh, was that medically necessary? Absolutely. Yeah. If I don't get a fake penis, my family will die.
Oh, I have an erection and there's a blood clot. Can you go ahead and touch my bracelet?
Yes. Which one? The Life Alert? No, my Lucky Charm bracelet.
Yes,
it's just neither really will work at this point.
No,
they stopped answering at Life Alert.
I decided to be a white guy in 2022. That's a good move in Hollywood.
Exactly. So let me go through the phalloplasty risks. Okay, hair or stone formation in the urethra, 5% risk. Infections, a 14% risk, which, by the way, requires a removal in most cases of the prosthetic.
Yeah.
Partial skin flap loss, a 12.9% risk.
What is that? Do you know what skin flap loss?
We're going to show the pictures on the club later, okay? Just use your imagination.
Okay.
Just my imagination.
And by the way, the loss of those sections of the skin used, these are being used to make it's just disgusting. Okay. Urethral blockage, we're now at 24%. 24% of people who go through these surgeries experience urethral blockage. This other term, I want to make sure I read this correctly, and the stat is staggering. Urethrocutaneous fistula. And that's where urine is leaking from new holes or wrong holes, 49.5%. In other words, there's a 1 in 2 chance that if you get a fake penis, you'll be pissing like the gremlin who was shot at the food bar.
Yeah. Can you imagine pitching this in a meeting at like a car company? Like, is it safe? No.
No, it's not.
Well, there's a 49.5% chance you'll pee from your balls, but hey.
Yeah, like 1 in 2 people are going to have real problems.
Right, yeah. Where are all these consumer reporters, by the way? Consumer reporters who complain about, problems with the Prius. And by the way, I was happy to see any damage done with the Prius. But
terrible looking car.
It's just awful. And everyone who can't drive got together, had a secret meeting and said, Prius, are we good? We'll all drive that?
Yeah.
Oh,
good.
Great.
By the way, turn signals are right out.
No need to have one.
But where are all these consumer reporters? This company, man, they're taking it. Look, this could cause harm. Or tap water in Flint. And I'm not saying that these are illegitimate grievances, but where there's a 50% risk that you pee out of the wrong hole. There's a 25% chance of urethral blockage. There's a multiple increase in likelihood of cancers, of metabolic disorders that occur nowhere else in nature. And instead, you ban Dr. Jordan Peterson for saying that this is medically wrong? Up until very recently, the medical community, all of them said it was medically wrong. And you know what happens when the remainder of the medical community said that it's wrong? Like Johns Hopkins? You're gone. You're no longer allowed. Or they revoke your license. Why don't you trust your institutions? I don't know. Why don't we trust the medical institutions? Maybe because you just force-fed people vaccinations, right? And now you're trying to do it for kids at 6 months old. And at the very least, what you promised is not what people got, right? As far as the immunity, I'm not even going to get into the idea of the side effects, which we've covered. You can just run a search here on YouTube or probably on Mug Club because you won't find it on YouTube. If you type in vaccination side effects, it will be, did you mean that you want to report misinformation, insinuating that there are side effects? No, that's not what I meant.
Do we know what he's going to do about this? Has he indicated to you?
He's not removing the tweet.
Right. Okay,
he has told me he is not removing the tweet.
Standing his ground.
So you guys can support Jordan Peterson. I think he's still on YouTube. I don't know if he's on Instagram. I believe he is the announcement out that he's doing something with daily?
I don't know.
Okay. I want to be careful at this time.
I don't know.
But there are a lot of places to support him and to follow him, and I recommend that you do. And you know what? Good for him. He shouldn't take this down. That is a criminal physician. And I do believe that you are violating the Hippocratic Oath if you are knowingly performing a surgery on someone that will put them into a cancerous, shallow grave. And I only say shallow because Elliot Page is very slight.
He's very, very slight. So here's something maybe people can do. Send out 2 tweets. If you're on Twitter right now, go to Twitter and tweet this out to @Elon Musk, right? Let Elon Musk know this is kind of a fun thing to do. I'm not sure if he can do anything necessarily about it, but then also your senator. Let your senator know. So there is the possibility that when things like this happen, like what happened with the article from the New York Post, Ted Cruz was asking that question of them, why did you do this, right? So it may not happen right now, but at least bring it to their attention. So go do that right now and just see if you can get as many eyeballs on this as possible, because that's not free speech. That's one of the most benign tweets I've seen. I cannot believe that they were like, oh, that's hate speech. How in the world?
Oh, I absolutely can.
I can't. I don't see it.
Did you forget that one of our YouTube videos was removed when a transgender threw a homeless man's lunchbox at me?
Well, it's because
I laughed.
It's because of the laugh.
And they said that by me laughing. And by the way, you can go and watch this on Mug Club if you're not a member. There's a section with all the banned videos. This person came up, tried to assault me, and then stole a box from a homeless man, threw it at me, and ran away with his high heels clipping. And I laughed, and YouTube said that was denying his existence, her existence, sorry.
It is me. No, it was laughing at a poor throw.
Yes, it was laughing at a poor throw.
And then the cloppity
and the fact that this person is such an awful bag of shit that what they were throwing was stolen from a homeless person. It's on camera. And you can go see it. It's been banned. It's on Mug Club. Yeah. Yes, so I can imagine, I can absolutely believe that Jordan Peterson was banned from Twitter for that kind of a tweet.
There's no way to hide on this one. There's no way to hide. They're going to have to reinstate him.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll have him here on the show here next. Well, no, we're not here next week, but we'll have him on the show. Maybe I'll do a long form thing that we just upload during the break. We pre-tape with a Zoom. It's simple. Get it up because, my God, I mean, my heart. I don't want to say my heart breaks for the guy. He'll be fine. This is not an issue that should be happening in the United States of America.
No, not at all.
No more. Draw your line. That's it. That's it. None. I'm done with it. Is he what?
Is he in the U.S. or Canada?
I don't know that I'm. I don't know where. I don't know where he lives full time, but he splits his time.
An undisclosed location.
I know it's undisclosed.
Yes. Okay. Well, he's in actually the cave with all the facets of all the variables.
Oh, there's.
It's like, whoa, man.
So it's an empty cave.
I just think you're allowed to have these opinions, especially when they're backed with facts.
If he was Batman, Alfred would be like, "Oh, shut up,
please, go do some stuff that's dangerous."
Yeah. You know what's most dangerous?
Oh, jeez.
Is honesty. Oh, all right. No. What's more dangerous is Bane's super weapon. Okay, go fight that.
You know what's more dangerous? Sleeping on thread sheet count 300. That's.
Yeah. No, that's Ben Shapiro.
No, he can do a pretty good segue too.
That's incredibly dangerous. Sleeping on 230 calories. That's why I use Bowl and Branch bed sheets. You're like, son of a bitch, he just put an ad in there again. And I didn't even know.
Defending Jordan.
But look at these surgeries. All the references are available at loudwithcrowder.com, and we're not linking to Fox News. We're linking to published medical journals. In this case, the largest study that has been conducted on this kind of a transitional operation, hormones, right? There are several different studies that we've had to compile. You can go and check those references. I encourage that you do. That's why we make them available. I want you to know the truth. Do not take my word for it. And if I'm wrong, comment below and let me know. And can you imagine, though, that being said, the kind of prep work that a surgery like that would take?
Oh, right. Imagine being the guy in charge of shaving this patients.
Right. And that's what's going on what's going on out there?
Oh, I gotta go take care of something.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Is this?
You're just gonna go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we need to take care of what's going on out there.
All right.
Get a men's shave here in the public bathroom. Only
for some reason I was thinking of you
claims.
leaving. I was like,
15 claims get shaved in the bathroom. Who wants a nice shave?
Hey, you shaving faces over there?
Nah, it ain't like that.
You giving haircuts?
Nah, you need a license for them.
All right, then what are you doing?
I shave body hair.
Body hair? Even around the old meatballs and gobbledygook.
The what?
You know, the Lafatelli, the French Vanilli, the Venedici.
Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah, especially around them. That's why I got the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. It's got a skin safety shield. It does the best job you'll ever see.
That I've ever seen? Forget about it.
Come with me in the men's bathroom and we'll do stuff.
Do stuff?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff?
Shaving stuff.
All right.
That's why that bathroom hasn't been available for the last while. And I should tell you guys, by the way, they are sponsor of the show. Wonderful. And we have very few sponsors, if you notice. We usually do Mug Club. But Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code Crowder20, and you get 20% off with free shipping. I will tell you this, okay? It's another trimmer. The light makes a big difference.
Game changer.
The light is a game changer. And I don't know if there are other companies that have a light, but my trimmers before this did not have a light. I wish I had one with a light for my face, but I can't use the same one that I've used on my balls.
You can't. No. So men out there, if you
I used to use the one taped to my rifle.
Yes.
Because when you cut down there, that hurts.
Yeah. No, the light makes a big difference. It's unflattering. If you have bumps, you will see them.
The freshly shorn square.
You will be like, what is going on? I didn't know that I had a braille taint.
Yeah, it really.
I didn't want to see
divots.
that.
And you can't replace those divots.
No, you cannot. This ain't no Caddyshack 2.
Bumpy fairway.
You are not Jackie Mason. So Crowder 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com. And, of course, it's a great gift if you have someone, 4th of July. If you give 4th of July gifts, I don't really know. But right now, I guess something is breaking here. The Supreme Court, as we are live, it is 10:50 Eastern.
Yeah.
Supreme Court watch. Gerald, you were letting me know about this.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Supreme Court was ruling on something that impacted the power of the EPA. So in West Virginia versus EPA, SCOTUS ruled 6-3.
Can I pause you really quickly?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate the EPA.
Well, this is going to make you smile.
Oh, good.
Okay. So in a 6-3 ruling, SCOTUS ruled that the EPA does not have the authority to set national energy policies. So this is basically, from my understanding, is that the EPA's kind of control was getting out of hand. Their power was not necessarily...
Well, I will say this. I'm glad at the decision, but if the EPA doesn't control national energy policy, well, then what do?
Well,
they're just supposed to. I guess they're just supposed to limit polluting.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Maybe stick with what the agenda should have been from the beginning. So this will greatly curtail their ability to regulate greenhouse gas emissions. That's one of the things. And this could also inhibit the ability of other government agencies. This is the big one, to regulate industry. That power was never given to government agencies.
Right.
It was given to Congress.
And Greta Thunberg.
And Greta Thunberg. So,
a child at the time.
And the court ruled 5-4 in favor of Biden administration in its case against the state of Texas. This is not great news, but the administration can rescind that Remain in Mexico policy that was made famous under Donald Trump.
Well, let's focus on the EPA. That's a good one.
Yeah. So those were the decisions. But the EPA, so this is big because they were basically making the EPA their henchmen, just sticking with the Italian theme here.
Yeah.
Right? They just come by and be like, it'd be a shame if you got closed down for pollution, right? You know? That's the kind of stuff that was really kind of going on with the EPA. They really were acting like the mob in some way.
And wasn't it the EPA that screwed up the Colorado River not that long ago?
Well, they do a lot of...
They do a lot of screwing up just because they're bad at their job. Here's the issue, right, when you're dealing with the EPA. First off, you have to believe... Let's go through this, right? I don't want to say the intellectual fallacies, but here, you can just hit a ding as I go through these so people can kind of... Okay, you have to go through a few different sets of beliefs to be upset with this decision. All right. You have to believe that climate change, not global warming, that climate change is real, number one. Okay. You have to believe that human beings are the primary cause of it, number two. Okay. You have to believe that it is going to have catastrophic results imminently, number three. Okay. And you have to believe that we are capable of actually stopping nature's course and preventing those catastrophic results, number four. You then have to believe that the only people who are capable of stopping said imminent disasters that are being caused by human beings, about which there can be no disagreement, is the government, number five. And then you have to believe of all the government agencies that the most efficient and effective is, of course, the EPA, number six. So if you're mad with this, then that means, do you believe all six of those?
Right.
Because don't call me a climate denier because I say, you know what, maybe it's a little toasty, but I think Greta Thunberg's full of shit. By the way, what's the over-under that Al Gore is hanging from a massage chair with a Windsor knot?
No, he's flying around in his private jet contributing to said global warming, which he said probably would destroy the planet by now, I believe, unless they...
Well, it's all right to leave a giant carbon footprint as long as you're also helping the environment.
Can I add a point?
How else will Al Gore and John Kerry sky drag race?
Exactly.
Can I add a point number 7? You also have to believe that AOC in her little 5-page document is at the ready to solve the problem. Right. Green New Deal, baby.
Yeah. 5 pages. Like, was this written on construction paper? Yes, it was.
Is this an executive summary? Nope. The entire thing.
Hey, by the way, researchers, maybe you guys can search for this here real quick. And you guys can let me know, comment below, before I go on to Finland and NATO. AOC, she was speaking there in, was it Tompkins Square? Was it Washington Square Park? And she just dropped the bomb where she said, she was raped.
Yes.
She said, she said, and keep in mind, her wording was very, very careful. She said, working here, as a waitress, I had friends who had to walk home alone at night. They were raped. I was raped as a young woman. So it's like, hold on a second. Are you saying that you were walking home alone and you were raped? No, she separated that, which to me was concerning. Has she been on record discussing being raped before this? Because I had not seen it. And she said, I was so alone that I had to take a pregnancy test in a New York City public bathroom. Why didn't she go home? Why didn't you just go home to take the pregnancy test? I don't understand. There's so many things that don't add up there where I'm just wondering, hey, was there a police report filed?
Wait, she took the pregnancy test the same night?
Well, I don't know. She just said she had to do it in a public bathroom. Like, I guess maybe the rapist was still following her. And you can only take that test at the Duane Reade restroom. Well, here's a key with a nunchuck on it.
Yeah. Well, if there's anywhere, I guess, a rape victim would want to go, it's in an enclosed public space.
Right.
That doesn't make...
As opposed to the private room in the city where you live.
Right.
Oh, man, maybe I should carry out this very private procedure
clearly
in the privacy of my home.
Clearly it's not a lie because AOC said it.
Well, I would say this. If she was raped,
she almost died?
It's a tragedy. We all...
Of course, if she was raped, it's a tragedy.
Yeah, of course it is.
But she's an opportunist.
No, here's what I'm saying. Is there a police report?
Yeah. No,
because guess what?
I don't know.
If you're going... If you were raped... First off, I want to know, did she go out and tell this story anywhere else? I know she said she was afraid that she was going to be raped on January 6th.
By the police officer saving her life.
Yeah. I know she claimed she was afraid of that, but I don't know that there's a track record. Again, I'm just looking for you guys to comment below. I've tried to, I haven't found it, and certainly not with this kind of detail, taking a pregnancy test in a New York City bathroom. Here's something else I would like to see. If she was, which is horrible, and you didn't file a police report, how about you encourage women to file police reports?
Yeah.
How about, if you want to talk about destigmatizing it, right? Women should all come forward and file these police reports and take these rape kits, because I think that men who actually commit forcible rape should be buried next to the prison. Okay?
There you go.
But we need to know. Can anyone find, was there a police report back then? If not, okay, how long has she been telling us this story? Something doesn't pass the sniff test. And I hope to God that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I hope to God that she was never raped. If she was raped, that's terrible.
Yeah, and I hope that it's not like, we went out and had too many drinks and I regretted having sex with this person the next day. That's not rape.
Well, I did the legwork after Lena Dunham claimed it, found the guy, and it turned out it wasn't true, and then she walked it back afterwards. So I'm just always a little bit concerned when someone drops it at some kind of a rally, and this is not something where there's a track record, there's no police report. You know what? I think that kind of matters. I think it absolutely matters. I think there needs to be due process, and I want to see rapists prosecuted. You can't complain about how men are not brought to justice and then not do your part to bring them to justice. Yeah. You're the only one who can do that part. No one else can do that part. Women, if it's happened to you, please come forward, go to the police, do the rape, use these rape kits that are available. Try and, if it happens, God forbid, first off, I hope that you're armed and you can protect yourself. There's another fail-safe. Right, before that, try and avoid situations where you might find yourself vulnerable. I'm not saying wear the wrong dress. What I'm saying is don't go out alone at night. Don't go to areas of town where there's a lot of violent crime. Keep your head in a swivel. Use the buddy system. Be armed. If you're in a city that does not allow you to be armed, leave said city immediately. And then if you do find yourself in that scenario, God forbid, keep your head in a swivel. Take some memory triggers, mental notes, so that you can go to the police and put that man behind bars for the rest of his life. Okay?
Absolutely.
That's what I want to see.
Well, statistically, most women who are brutally raped, if they know who the perpetrator was, do go to the police.
Right.
Especially if it's violent.
Right.
Yeah.
Do right away.
That's an important point because the left says the opposite.
Well, you brought up something too. AOC, shouldn't she be celebrating the ruling for New York City or the state of New York actually not being able to limit who can get a concealed carry? Wouldn't your friends like to have had a handgun in their purse walking down that dark alley late at night after one of their shifts? Shouldn't you guys be all like cheering this decision so you can finally protect yourself?
Oh,
and situations?
Well, last night they shot somebody in the Upper East Side.
In the Upper East Side
area, yeah.
By the way, they have not named the race of the perpetrator.
No, but don't worry, he was wearing all black.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah,
that'll
good.
help narrow it down.
Yeah.
And 19 years old, 20 years old, or whatever, they still couldn't figure out the poor woman's age who was pushing a stroller.
Right.
And then the mayor takes it to the first opportunity to say this is the problem with bringing guns into the city. It's like, do you think that was a registered firearm?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you think that's it was what, a card-carrying member of the NRA
Yes.
that went up and shot her execution style in the Upper East Side?
And do you know how I know it was not? Because
the way
the
it was
law
done?
doesn't exist yet.
Right, exactly.
And so it was guaranteed an illegal firearm.
Right.
Even, obviously, we would know that regardless.
Right.
But that being said, we know it without a doubt because it certainly hasn't just gone into effect where a guy's like, oh, man,
Right.
this is great. Now, starting this second, I can go and shoot old ladies. That's, I'm an originalist in interpreting the law.
Right. It's astonishing that it would just come out. It's like, how stupid are you?
Yeah. And do we want to place any bets on who the perpetrator might have been?
Well, he did say this is MAGA country.
Oh, he did?
Oh.
Yeah.
Did he do? He said that before using a noose and pouring bleach?
Yeah, I think that happened.
And
When they said he was wearing all of that color, it wasn't close.
No. He was actually just wearing a see-through mesh shirt.
Unbelievable. Had a 3-month-old baby in the stroller.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, that's awful.
Well, why now is it so important? Like, I don't know what he was, honestly, but it's like there's an Amber Alert, and you go, the car was it was an automobile, and it had 4 wheels.
Yes.
And you're like, oh,
well, that's
We
good.
believe an engine of some kind.
Yeah, well, we're not sure.
That remains to be seen.
It's definitely moving.
Yeah.
A steering wheel that was actually Trump tried to grab this steering wheel too.
Whereas you could have just said, yeah, he was driving an El Camino with lifts. We'll let you draw your own conclusions. Someone's like, found him!
Right. What about the license plate? And you're like, listen, we don't. This is a little much.
Yeah.
We don't want to. We need to give out the whole.
What it reads, it's MS-13.
Look, we don't want to be all.
It says MS-13.
It's more important to be woke now than to save the life of people on the street.
Yeah. Well, where's the hierarchy there of women being targeted, right? Like we talked about with Asian Americans. It's just the left just uses you when you are convenient for them. So we don't have any info on this.
No.
I'm willing to bet. Willing to bet that it wasn't a Republican, racist, white supremacist in New York City with a registered firearm who shot a 90-something-year-old lady. And by the way, the extreme is no one should have a gun, right? That's the extreme, my right, your left. I'm trying to do this for you. The other extreme, and I mean really extreme, and I'm not saying I would line up with this, is that baby should have a gun. But I would lean toward that.
Yeah. When you said 90-something-year-old, she was 20. The lady who...
Oh, the lady was 20.
19, yeah.
20,
19 or was she 20 officially?
I saw 20, but...
Okay, they were going back and forth.
Originally, it was reported she was an old lady.
No, it was 19.
Oh, wait, sorry, I'm mixing up two crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a separate incident.
It's New
It's
York.
tough to find them in New York these days.
Yeah.
Oh, no, same night. I'm sure
Probably
it was.
same block. They
Probably
had
and the Upper East Side, I mean, that's a nice area, or was.
Yeah. I lived there in Yorkville for about 9 months.
Yeah, I mean,
off of 77th and between 2nd and 1st.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice area.
Yeah. I had a studio where if I tripped in the kitchen, I hit my head in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's what I loved. I had one in Harlem.
Wait, I just peed in the sink.
Which wasn't a bad area when I lived there even 3 years ago, and then all of a sudden, who knew?
Boy,
Who
yeah,
knew?
that's all of New York. All right, let's go to something here that is near and dear to my heart, and by that I mean seething hatred. So Finland and Sweden now, they want, and we just got word from former Vice President Biden celebrating this, they want to join NATO. Okay. Want you to comment below before I give you some numbers that might shock you. But, all right, I'm going to lead the witness here. No. Now,
let's tell you how we got.
Let me tell you how I got there. You might be wondering how I got here. Also, what's really important to note, maybe people don't understand, they don't think of this because we often just think of the welfare state. We think of that as a redistribution of wealth. The international military community and NATO and UN, that is an international redistribution of wealth, always at the cost of the American taxpayer, not at the cost of the Swedish taxpayer, not at the cost of the German taxpayer. When you're talking about international agreements, the numbers are not even close. It's thank you, United States, for allowing us to tag along and not making us states 50 through 90 at this point. You think Attila the Hun, you think Genghis Khan, you think the Ottomans would allow Canada or even Europe to exist if they had planes? So, Tuesday, and then we have Biden talking this morning, NATO's Secretary General announced that Finland and Sweden were one step closer after Turkey dropped its objections. And so this started the chatter of, should they be able to join? Here's the NATO Secretary General, who I believe is Norwegian, but talking about Finland and Sweden. It's easy to get mixed up, again, because these countries are inconsequential in the general history of the world.
Just finished a very constructive meeting with President Erdogan, President Niinistö, and Prime Minister Andersson.
That sounds like he just mumbled a name because he couldn't say it.
And I'm pleased to announce that we now have an agreement that paves the way for Finland and Sweden to join NATO.
Yeah, I want that way paved with walls and moats.
Yes.
And gold.
It's not so much a paving as it is a renovation project. No, you don't get to join it. Well, you get to join NATO under some very specific terms, just to be clear. Yeah. And I'll lay out what those terms are. Hint, they can't meet them. Biden, former Vice President Biden, of course, was celebrating the move this morning in Madrid.
We invited 2 new members to join NATO. It was a historic act. Finland and Sweden, 2 countries with a long tradition of neutrality and choosing to join NATO.
Okay, no, Gerald, give it, just let me go here really quickly. I probably know more about NATO than you because I hate the things. NATO, 1949. Here's basically what it is, okay, without getting into complicating the issue. After World War II, after we had this struggle, right, people were concerned about the Soviets. Okay, it's an international military agreement. What does that mean? You join up. 2% of your GDP annually is put into NATO funding, which is basically NATO military spending at that point. It was supposed to be a military alliance that benefited everybody. We protected each other, right? So it was, if you pay this in, right? This is an installment plan here. You pay in, you get to be a part of the drawing pool if it needs to be used. Okay. There were a set number of nations who joined. Sweden and Finland, being pompous assholes and having bragged about being neutral for the last several decades, decided no. Well, guess what? You get to be neutral because we allow you to be. And we protect you so that you can claim to be neutral. Sweden, you're a nation that's given us nothing but birth control and gummy fish, okay? Nothing. Nothing. Couple of chefs. That's it. Okay, so let's go through the number. Historically, the United States has paid $13.5 trillion. Wow. $13.5 trillion with a T into NATO. In 2021, the United States spent more than $811 billion on NATO funding. That's 3.5% of the GDP. By the way, before we get to Finland and Sweden, we should boot the countries that aren't paying 2% of their GDP. And by the way, that's a lot of them. Okay? That's a lot of them. So now Sweden, having not paid into NATO for all of these years, going like, oh, things looking like they could get rough. We need protection. Yeah, well, you know how we didn't pay at all, and we bragged about how you guys were paying in the military-industrial complex, and we have all this socialized health care. Yeah, now we want in. Nope. You got a lot of back pay. So 2% is what the agreement is, at least in 2006. It was different before that. Okay, so it's tough to do some numbers because you're talking about the history of NATO, modern inflation, modern dollars. But in 2020 dollars, 2% of GDP for Sweden would be $10.8 billion a year. Wow. Finland, that would be $5.3 billion a year. So let's just lower that contribution to 1.5%, adjust the dollars to GDP for 1960. Because 49 to today, right? It wouldn't be fair to use the numbers for today because of inflation. So we'll just split the middle. So 1960, adjust for inflation. This is the back pay. It would be $153 billion for Sweden. It would be $50 billion for Finland. And that would be extremely generous to them going back to 1960. In today's dollars, right, using their present GDPs, Sweden would owe $592 billion in back pay. Finland would owe $295 billion in back pay. So how about this? Look. Once you pay let's split the difference, $250 billion each in back pay. You know, the money that you didn't pay in while we were protecting your sorry ass and you bragged about all of your social programs that you couldn't afford if you had to spend anything on your military? You pay the back pay, you walk out, get on your knees and apologize, and you allow us to paddle you.
Fair.
And then 2% and just because you didn't do it for a long time, you know what? And the United States has paid 3.5. You got to pay 2.5 at least going forward. If not, I hope you enjoy speaking one of the Soviet languages.
I think that it's not so sweet, Sweden and Finland. You're finished.
Yes.
Wow.
Think about this is a region. Think about this. When I say $811 billion just last year, that's your tax dollars Picture your tax dollars side by side with an arrogant Norwegian, Finnish, Swedish, an arrogant prick talking about how the United States has this military-industrial complex. Look, hey, you made your bet. Hey, just, you know what? Stick with your bet. Stick with your bet. And I really get pissed off about this because I lived in Canada for years. I was raised in Canada. French-Canadian mother. From 3 to 18 years old, left as soon as I possibly could. And I would hear them brag all the time about, well, here in Canada, we have socialized healthcare. Yeah, and your military is, someone in a prop plane with a shotgun, all right? So the reason you're able to do this is because we haven't made you the 51st state, all right? And that applies to the entire world, and you are talking about trillions of dollars. So you think about the $48 billion just given to Ukraine right now. No, think about the $811 billion that's gone to NATO. Think about the 15, is it 15? How many?
$13.5 trillion.
$13.5 trillion. But at that point, it's just a rounding error.
Yeah.
Think of the $13.5 trillion that the American taxpayer has footed for arrogant European Nordic pricks who get to demand, when it's convenient for them, that we protect them, but in the preceding decades, bitch about how they're being protected. No.
Yeah.
No. You know what it is? It's the three little pigs. It's the three little pigs in Finland and Sweden. You're the one who built your house out of straw.
No, I think you're 100% right. You got to buy into the game now, right? We've been paying this bill forever, making sure that this enemy is put at bay. You can't just sit there and claim, oh, we're neutral. You're not neutral when troops start pouring over your borders. Of
course.
Sorry, my outfit is getting a little tawdry here. Yeah.
Well,
you can't be neutral then. And you can't come when things start getting dicey. You can't come to us and say, oh, hey, now we want your protection.
Right.
That's not possible. It's not going to happen. It is going to happen. It shouldn't happen. And by the way, right now what the president should do is say, hey, by the way, we've been overpaying. Every single country around here who has not been paying, part of your back pay goes to us. We've been overpaying.
And by the way, do you know the only time in history when nations started paying their fair share into NATO? Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. And I have an idea.
Yeah, that's true.
If these nations don't want to do it, that's perfectly fine. Have fun. Good
It should
luck.
be funneled right through us and into the hands of the Ukraine.
Yes.
Well, we'll turn it right around. And
Yeah,
drop
don't
it there.
worry. We won't keep it.
They are beyond reproach.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
It will go into the wrong hands.
So people hear about this and go, oh, yeah,
right
Sweden.
hands.
This is the kind of issue that most people don't really think about. $13 trillion.
It's insane.
$13 trillion. We don't have a problem with them. Well, we have a problem with the Pentagon saying they're going to perform, they're still going to perform abortions, of course.
Right.
But we don't have a problem with having an effective military. We have a problem with bureaucracy. We have a problem with red tape. And we have a problem with providing military aid to everybody else in the world. That's the issue. I think the United States should have a strong military. Do we need NATO? Hey, let me tell you why we don't need NATO, okay? We don't need oil from the Middle East anyway. We don't need wheat from the Ukraine or Russia. We don't need to have access to the pipelines. We don't need anything from over there. We could be entirely self-sustaining. We are America's bread basket. We are the world's bread basket. And we have more oil than we would know what to do with, by the way. If we just allowed our own, we could be an entirely self-sustaining country. The rest of the world could turn into an Acme cartoon-like crisp post-firecracker, and we would be fine. You all exist by the grace and the mercy of the United States. We would have been better off if former Vice President Biden walked up to the summit and said, yeah, I hear that Sweden and Finland really want to...
Too bad.
Appropriate response.
And America's breadbasket is what they call my hips.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
What they used to call Ellen Pages.
Yeah.
Ooh, hey.
Now they're just called
Not hips.
Yeah, they're just brittle.
Yeah. You see the Umbrella Academy? The new season's out. They devoted an entire episode to that person.
No, I want to not kill myself.
Yeah,
Well,
I didn't even
no,
know that show existed, but I don't want to watch it just based on the name.
Yeah.
Umbrella Academy.
How much is there to learn?
What is the umbrella?
It can be a push umbrella, or if you're really, if you have the money, one of the button ones.
Well, there's all kinds of umbrellas.
Is this about?
Hey, speaking of umbrella,
Roe versus Wade overturning.
Who could use an umbrella? Whoever's operating the Zoom camera for Jeffrey Toobin right now on CNN. Look, hey, why don't you trust your institutions? Because a serial masturbator is on there right now. How about that?
Because he has dirt on everyone who works there.
Yes. He's the only legal mind that they could possibly get to apply for the job.
Did they officially get rid of Candy Ass?
Brian Stelter? I don't know.
I have seen neither hide nor hair, and it's a lot of hide to miss.
Yeah.
I know. I haven't seen either. I don't know what happened.
I have heard a couple of...
I've heard rumors.
heard a couple of hooks the banjos from Deliverance off in the distance, so I think he's around here somewhere.
I got an email applying for a job. I'm just assuming it's him.
Oh, my God. I will pay him so much money if he comes to work here.
Yeah, at least 30 grand.
Yes. Speaking of rotund amoebas, Big Hero 6? I actually like that movie. I guess there's a new...
I like the first one.
Yeah. I guess there's a show coming out now.
Oh, good.
Did you guys know this? So there's some leaked footage of, Baymax is the robot, for people who don't know. Now is out there shopping for... This is leaked footage, so forgive the quality. Shopping for tampons? Here you go.
Oh, good.
Excuse me, which of these products would you recommend?
None.
Oh,
She just balls him up and crams him in her snatch.
These are the tampons I usually use.
Thank you.
I prefer pads. They're more comfortable for me.
Watch this
I always
one.
get the ones with wings.
Thank you.
Get
That
unscented
one.
and bleach-free if you can.
Thank you.
Mr. Incredible?
Loves these. Thank you.
These might be easier if it's our first period. These are really environmentally friendly.
Oh, wow, that's
good,
someone you want to have a party with. These are really environmentally just punches her off frame.
We're all disgusting.
We are all degenerates. Did you notice that the guy, like you said, didn't say, hey, I buy these for my wife.
No.
Said, I like using the ones with wings. Maybe because you need it to cup your balls, sir?
I didn't know that could have a period.
No.
Apologize.
I
didn't know.
We're all confused.
We're all misfits. What about a boat that has his period?
Yeah, it's just a cartoon car.
Or a squirt gun that only shoots menstruation.
Is it leaking oil?
Yeah.
No, it's my monthly.
Oil change?
Can we play this again? Play it one more time. And just, do you guys understand that the people making these things hate you? Are you getting it yet? Are you getting it yet? Do you really think your 6-year-old kid needs to see a man talking about his preferences for pads with wings and optional sliding doors, for crying out loud? You really think that's what...
You mean the Michelin Tire Man's trans cousin?
Yes. Let's just see this. Let's watch this again.
Excuse me, which of these products would you recommend?
For what?
Well,
Look at her
these are
basket.
the tampons I usually use.
Thank you.
I prefer
Carrots and
pads.
bananas.
They're more comfortable for me.
Thank you.
I always get the ones with wings.
Thank you.
Get unscented and bleach-free if you can.
Thank you. Yo, my daughter loves these. Thank you.
These might be easier if it's our first period. These are really environmentally friendly.
Bleach free.
Hey,
Get bleach filled.
Do you remember when we were young? And you guys can comment below. Because I sometimes people disagree with me where my parents taught me about sex really young.
Yeah.
They taught me about sex, where babies came from, because they didn't want me being lied to. But there was a time in this country where we taught young girls about how their bodies worked. As far as the intricacies, as far as their periods. We taught young boys. So while the girls were off, learning about their periods, we were learning why boners were a thing and having a lot of fun.
Laughing really hard.
Yes,
I've got
we did.
one right now.
Flipping the M&M trick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, the old...
Fun for the whole
Or
family.
gluing them to it like Hunter Biden.
Yes.
I love it.
Ages 6 and up. But we didn't learn about girls' periods in depth.
You know why?
We learned that they had a monthly cycle, okay, and women are different, and they have a vagina, and boys have I learned that.
Yeah.
I didn't learn about their tampons and their pads because I didn't need to as a boy. It wouldn't be appropriate for the same reason that I don't think my cousin, who was a girl, was taught about my rigid phallus upon looking at my She-Hulk superhero cards.
For hours.
That's true.
Oh, that's being conservative.
We started measuring in days.
They
didn't
came
we?
back,
Yeah.
I looked like Castaway. She-Hulk!
I've made fire. That's not fire.
That's just rug burn. Well, it feels like fire. All right. So the footage comes from what? The new series Baymax. In 6 episodes, he helps people with physical ailments while also getting them over emotional hurdles, is what they're saying.
I believe in the show is going to be called Big Zero Dicks.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
Yes, there's a lot of these. I think there's they're releasing Chippendale's Rectum Rangers.
Oh, that'd be a nice one. Also, there's Beastie and the Beast.
They're releasing Cinderfella.
101 Disgustings.
Aladic.
Lady was a tramp.
Yes, Lady was a tramp. Well, that's just, that doesn't seem, it's not as much of a gender.
Not as horrible.
But
as,
there's,
There's a few of them.
There's just the gay Lion King, which just seems like it's on the nose.
Yeah, that seems very, very, well, it's also that we was Lion King.
Yes. Yes.
But that's a totally
I
separate.
just can't wait to be gay. Everybody saying suck this. Everybody saying touch that.
Of course, Ryan Reynolds has a new one, I believe, called. It's just called Free Bleed Guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't forget Transylvania 4.
Yeah.
Didn't have to change the name on that one.
No, they didn't have to change the name
It's
on
about
that
a
one.
place,
They just cross out Ilvania.
Yeah. There's also All Cocks Don't Go to Heaven.
No, that's true.
Big one. Yeah.
And a remake on Chopped. I know it used to be a cooking show, but
yes.
Yeah, all dongs go to, and it just isn't heaven.
No, just hell.
It's different.
Oh, they've ruined Disney.
The Little Merman.
Honey, I cut the, you can just fill in the blank there.
Yeah. Honey, I transitioned the kids.
Yeah. Yeah,
Honey, I blew up the fake phallus.
Honey, I brutally molested the kids.
Yes.
Honey, I broke it again.
Yes. The Parent Trap is just, or Freaky Friday is just, they're just the exact same.
It's just
no one even bats an eye. Like, oh yeah, of course you're Cindy.
Yeah, this is.
But I'm Vince Vaughn. No, sir, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, the Friday's not freaky at all.
No.
They both
Just
identify
Friday.
as different things.
Yeah. Just the electric shock. Whoa!
Yeah.
Like, sure, yeah, you identify as a 6-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Good.
It's just a remake of Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Damn!
I just can't believe.
Debo! It's a woman.
Yes.
You just got knocked up.
Girls in the Hood.
Yeah. My used to be girl. Doesn't get taken out by bees. He gets taken out by urethra container, the one where he pees out of a bunch of different holes.
Holes. You pee out of all the other holes. That's so terrible. How would you plan for aiming? That's just impractical.
The good former son.
The good.
Just Elijah Wood on the treehouse reaching for a penis that isn't there. Yeah. Anyone who saw The Good Son, you appreciate that.
Yes. The God used to be father.
Yes.
Go ahead and sit down on my chair. Put on a towel. I'm a squirter.
The lost former boys.
Wonder they.
Thou shalt not
bleed. Cry, little sister, brother. Thou shalt not bleed. Come to your Z.
Unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, this is where we are. They are targeting your kids. They don't care. And by the way, really quickly before we go, this is why it's a wonderful thing that in Arizona, we're now talking about a school choice bill.
Yeah.
So we have this. It's House Bill 2853. And what does that do? It expands the state voucher program to all kindergarten through K through 12 students. Okay. So this is something I've talked about before, and I really, really do want. And by the way, share the show if you can. Hit the like button. Especially as it relates to the Jordan Peterson issue. But I really am curious because I have put this call out so many times on this issue, and I have never gotten anything close to resembling a cogent argument. So, school vouchers, just to be clear, what does that mean? It means that the money, rather than going to a school, is attached to the student. So, in Arizona, what this means right now is, and I'll read a quote here, more than $6,000 to each student for education expenses, including private school tuition, curricular materials. What does this mean? This means rather than saying, for example, I don't know what the average per pupil spending is in the country right now. It's somewhere like $12,000, $13,000. It changes from year to year. And they average it out. They say this is the average per pupil spending. Okay. Then, rather than saying this is the average per pupil spending, and you go to this school period with no choice, it's we're going to attach and I think we should attach the full amount if we attach the amount, but we're going to attach a certain amount of that money to the student. So rather than forcing the student to go to a school in their district, we give them the credit and they can go to any school they want and allow the schools to compete for their dollar. Now, here's another reason that I don't understand why this isn't done in the States. It's one of the very few things that we get right in Canada. Where I lived, I should have gone to Chambly High School. I was allowed to go to Centennial Regional High School, which was significantly further. I had friends who lived in the street who went to McDonald Cartier High School, which was even further. As long as you were willing to drive, you were allowed to go to multiple schools. And people say, well, what happens if people just started going to the better school? They got bigger and they got more money.
It's almost like they grew.
So what is the argument against this? I've never heard a valid argument against school vouchers. The closest I've heard is it's racist because, then black kids won't be able to go to better schools outside of their area. Okay. Let's assume that the shitty schools that are there now will still be there, but maybe they have a chance. In other words, right now they're forced to go to a bad school, period. There is no hope. At least there's hope. I mean, if the kid can take a bus, if the kid has parents who can drive him, if the kid can ride his bike. Right now, there are 0 options, and you're opening it up to at least some options with a voucher. Attach it to the student. Don't just give it to the teachers union. Please, if anyone has a valid argument against this, anyone, I've never heard it.
There isn't one. That's why you haven't ever heard it.
Maybe there is. I want to hear because this is one of those issues when I try and research the counterpoints, I can't find any.
No.
I knew a lot of kids from very rough neighborhoods, though, that ended up going to, one of the high schools I went to. That was in a better neighborhood, though, just because they knew their sister lived in the area, their brother, and
they have to break the law to do it.
Yeah, but they got a better education.
No, I'm saying they shouldn't have to break the law.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So make it so that they don't have to trick the system.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
No, I don't. I've never, and it's really, really tough. We were going to
if
do
you're
one.
able to get a better education and there's room for you in the school, what's the problem?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't
like
know.
Steven said, if there's a lot of people that want to go to your school, like any business, you're like, okay, well, we have more demand than we have supply, and so let's increase the supply and bring better teachers, better facilities, so we can have more people here.
What's wrong with that?
By the way, it's pay as you go because, we're full. The good news is more people want to get into this school, and there's money attached to them, so we know we're going to have the money to expend.
Exactly.
There is no issue. And I think we even did a Change My Mind or something similar to it about school choice, and we didn't end up running it because every person who thought they were against it, they go, oh wait, that's what a voucher is. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That was it. We didn't have a single one who could argue, and this is with professors, by the way. It wasn't even on a campus.
I know the counterpoint to charter schools is that they don't perform any better than public schools. And if you try to torture the data long enough, that'll be true. But if you look at Thomas Sowell's book, where he actually compared charter schools that were located in the same building as public schools because they had excess space in New York City, they way outperformed the students in the same building. It's the most apples to apples comparison you can possibly
But here's
get.
the thing. This doesn't even apply to charter schools.
No, I know.
In other words, you can take it to charter schools or to public schools. Well, you can take it wherever you want. That money is yours to do as you will.
Well, that's the thing. Funding going anywhere other than to public schools and the teachers there, they're saying charter schools was step 1. This is step 3 of that.
Well, in other words, if someone lives in a district and the public school that they want to go to that happens to be better, we know that in Texas, your property values change dramatically based on the public school district.
Yeah.
So it happens to be 500 yards past where you're actually legally allowed to attend that school. This removes that and says, well, instead of just your money going to the school that sucks, you can take the money to that school that's only 500 yards further, even if it's a public school. So it allows public schools to compete. It allows charter schools, private schools to enter into the mix.
Yep. It's perfect.
Wouldn't it help, too, if you had high schools that were a little bit, I understand freshman and sophomore year when you're sort of taking the more basic classes that you have to have.
Right.
But by the time you're a junior and senior, especially in America,
you're pregnant.
You're very pregnant, and especially with these other kids coming in from the hood. Now you got mixed babies. No, I joking. It's a joke. Media matters. But realistically, why don't you have these different programs set up at different schools that allow for other people's interests? If it's say drama, film, working on cars, nursing, whatever.
Right, yeah.
Like, why not cater to that already in high school so you can pivot to that correct market of college?
Private schools and charter schools do that. Now, in other words, they have more sort of what would be considered elective courses where you have your fundamentals, and they have other courses that might be more, if a student might have a higher aptitude for it.
Right.
Yeah. Public schools can't do that because they suck.
Well, I think that's
terrible.
I didn't know that.
I
think that's a really good idea.
Yep, just attach the money to the kid. In other words, instead of giving the money to the school,
I went to public school.
So did I.
Yeah,
And so did my dad. So did my dad in inner city Detroit.
Yeah.
No, you were not in the area.
No, I wasn't in the inner city. No.
You know my dad. You know Pops Crowder's hardcore.
I was a mile over from your dad. And boy, a mile makes a difference.
Yes, it does. Oh my gosh, my aunt stopped going. I think she just didn't go to her graduation ceremony because a girl got shot in the face.
Well,
no, I talked to your aunt about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just shot in the face.
Yeah.
It was like, how many? She's like, and that was like the third time.
Mail me the diploma.
Yeah.
You get a diploma and a slug.
So I just don't see any argument against it. I know I'm sounding repetitive, but please, anyone, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
And if there's an expert out there who can actually educate me on this, be glad to have this person on the show. Not a Twitter egg who says you suck. Someone who is an actual expert, like a researcher, like that Heather Cox with the gift that we talked about yesterday.
No gift.
But we are going to have to go to Mug Club here and take your costumes. The winner. This is the last day of Cultural Appropriation Month. It's the last show before we go on break. We'll still have some videos coming in. And you can follow me on social, louderwithcrowder.com/tour dates. Rebels with a Cause comedy tour. Me and Dave kicks off September 16th in Arizona. Just expanded that theater. So now there are more seats available. Houston, September 17th. So that's Friday and Saturday. The Smart Financial Center at Sugarfoot. And Dave is going to be, what's the date you're in Columbus, Ohio?
15th, 16th, Columbus, Ohio, July.
Funny Bone.
And then, Funny Bone tours, which Omaha, Nebraska, Dayton, Ohio, Columbus. Check me out, DaveLanda.com.
We love you, YouTube. Sorry, I misspoke. YouTube, I despise you. Piss off.